fellas.
I'll do my best.
Your best? Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and the prom queen.
Welcome to the best soccer show. The best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go. It's JD and the Rod, America's best soccer show, and we are live in the building. 3 different buildings on a Wednesday night. Live on Twitch, live on YouTube, live on Twitter. Jason Davis, the J Rodius, Jared DuBois, DJ Nikki Soup and Sausage over there taking care of us as well. Jared, how you doing?
Good, but God, man, now I'm looking at the side-by-side video. I worked from home today, so showered last night, and the pompadour is on extra levels today.
You do have a nice wave. I was thinking about this today, actually. So we in quarantine, and we just got done talking about Nikki Soup and Sausage's quarantine beard. He said he hadn't shaved in 3 weeks, so it's kind of if that's your natural pattern, Nick, okay, kind of looks goatee-ish. I'm not looking at the best camera in the world, right? I'm always wearing a beard. I've talked about trimming my beard. I've seen some women, some ladies on their Instagram say, I'm going to do my hair and my makeup, even though I have no reason to do it. Like, they make themselves do
My mom is doing that.
Okay, right. So as a guy, what's the equivalent? Like, if you're not a makeup and hair, like taking a long time to do your hair.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty low maintenance. I'm not even, me, underwear is too much for me.
Oh,
J Rodius.
I don't know if we have a generation of listeners, new people to the program who might not know that your other nickname is J Commando. Like, that's your other thing, is that you don't ever.
It's never been said before this moment.
I know, I just made it up just now, but it fits, right? Because you do choose Commando. That's your move.
I'm undie free since 2003, baby.
Is that just for the rhyme, or is that really the
it's
year?
For the rhyme, but it's actually probably circa 2000. It's right around the World Cup, 2002 World Cup. That's about when I made that switch, actually.
Why?
Because I remember I was living in that house where I was watching the World Cup.
In 2002,
I had a roommate. I had a roommate that was Commando, and I remember one night we had a talk about the benefits and stuff, and I was kind of frustrated with my underwear game in general, and I was still rocking the boxers back in the day, and then that's not a good feel. And I was like, we're in board shorts. I was in San Diego. I'm 20.
Wait, hold on. What? Actual old school boxers are terrible. You're right about that.
Oh, for sure. This is before boxers brief. Like, we're old enough to remember a time before boxer briefs.
By the way, why did it take humanity so long to figure out the boxer brief? Like, why did we wait until we were in our
We had bicycle shorts. It wasn't much of a run from there.
Yeah, it was pretty much like, and you weren't, you had to be a certain type of guy to walk around in those super tight bicycles. Now I think they're pretty common. Like, now it's a move. Everything's gone tight again. I don't know for you, Jared. I don't know your personal style choices, but things have gone form fitting again after the 90s where everything was super. I'm sure you wore some Jinkos on occasion, right?
I didn't go as far as to do like Jinkos. No. Like, I mean, I would go baggy. Don't get me wrong. There was a baggy fit, but I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, it was around 2002. I'm living in this house, and this dude was like, he's like, I remember him saying this, and I agree with it to this day. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need a diaper. And I've said that a million times since then. And I was rocking board. Listen, I'm 24, 25, somewhere in that range, living in San Diego, house with 9 dudes. We're living in board shorts, basically, just going to the beach. I was never wearing them anyway. It was a short transition.
Damn, dog.
Inappropriate. How often did those board shorts get washed? Not like, and you were
every day. I went in the ocean.
That's what I'm saying. You 100% you pulled that move. Like, I went to the ocean today. They're clean. They're not clean, dude. They're not even close to clean. They're like, there's creatures living in those board shorts at that point. You realize that, right?
You realize the fish in the sea, they don't bathe. Like it's good enough for them. It's good enough for me.
They do defecate where they live. That's a thing that
Come on, dude. There's a ratio there. You're not gonna. I mean, it's like seeing someone pees in there. Like, it's not a big deal. It's so much water.
So this theory is all about dilution.
No, again, here's the other thing. There's no substitute for those of you guys who don't live on coasts. There's no substitute for the amazing way and texture your hair gets after being in salt water.
That you enjoy that?
If you want that texture, for me, it works really well with my hair normally.
Things stiffen.
But I'm
a
not
little
doing
bit,
this.
right? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it gets like a nice thick, almost hayish kind of like feel to it.
Yeah.
Where you can kind of like, I like wearing like a messy style most of the time. I mean, right now, this is like literally this is what I call it. I get Republican hair naturally.
You're a white person. That's kind of comes with the territory,
like,
right?
It's so ingrained in me. Like upper middle class whititude is so ingrained in my DNA that this happens naturally.
Whititude. Yeah. All right. So we're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, which means we should have some people watching, which means you can call in and talk to us live. 717-727-2378. I almost gave out the radio show phone number, Jared. Did you know I have a radio show? Actually,
I did. And now you had Josh Wolf with the 2 Fs on today.
I did. I had Josh Wolf with 2 Fs on. And I asked
Which is free for people right now, right? If I could give you a plug.
Wow, you're going to go ahead and hook me up with a plug for that.
I like you.
So yeah, if you want to listen to Sirius XMFC, the channel that I'm on every day, and obviously it's a weird situation now. It's part of the reason it's free. You can go to SiriusXM.us/stream free or something like that, and you get an app, right? And then you can listen to the app. But today I had Josh Wolf on the show, and we specifically we were talking about Dos a Cero. We were talking about La Guerra Fria, the first one, and then obviously the next year when he was on the World Cup team and played against Mexico
Wolf.
in Jeonju, whatever, however you say that. And that's what I asked him. And this is what I want to know from people. Like, this is what I think is a fun question to ask on a Wednesday night when we don't have any soccer results to go over.
Okay.
If you could pick an object from American soccer's past that you think should be in the National Soccer Hall of Fame, and I'm sure there are some
There's
things.
an easy number one.
You think there's an easy number? Okay, well,
yeah.
hold on. So this is what I asked Josh Wolf. Where's the shirt? The shirt should be in the National Soccer Hall of Fame because they've got the place in Frisco now, right? They can bring all that stuff out of storage and they can display it. And you know what he told me? He told me that he traded the shirt that day after the game.
For who?
Jorge Campos.
That's traded a good trade, though.
He said he played with Jorge Campos, so he was boys with Jorge Campos. He decided to trade shirts with him, and then he said, "I don't even have the Jorge Campos shirt anymore. I gave it to a buddy who was opening a Mexican restaurant." So he's not hanging on to any of that. And I'm like, we have to go talk to Jorge and find this shirt because those long sleeves flapping around the way that they were in the 28-degree weather.
I kind of want to know where the Mexican food place is.
Yeah, right. I should have asked him that. I didn't ask him that. I mean, he's in Austin now. I don't think it's an Austin thing. I think it's probably from
the name of the restaurant's Dos a Taco.
If you could just name it Dos a Cero or La Guerra Fria.
Not if you want business from the Mexican clientele. I don't think you name it that.
Well, yeah, but how many of those Mexican depending on where you are in the country, how many Mexican restaurants are aiming?
But yeah, people can get in at the phone number 717-727-BEST if you want to give your take on what's the biggest piece of American soccer apparel, the most epic. But I think I'm just going to answer it for everyone right now because it's so easy and apparent to me.
All right, you tell me.
The Brandy Chastain sports bra.
Okay, the Brandy Chastain sports bra is definitely one that it's iconic in American soccer history, and therefore,
that would probably be number one for women's sports. To be honest with you,
in the history of women's, I mean, I don't know.
You had Jean King's tennis racket,
maybe, or you had some track athletes. I'm thinking Jackie Joyner,
Flojo's nails.
Flojo's nails should definitely be in a Hall of Fame somewhere. Disembodied nails are gross though.
Like, you know what they should have done? They should have kept all of her nails when she would clip them and made a mosaic, like crush them into pieces and make a mosaic of her or something.
Yeah, well, she's gone now, so it would be a memorial.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. So Brandy Chastain sports bra, Josh Wolf's long sleeve jersey. I know we already talked about, and we talked to Pablo Maurer on the program about his story. Can you take the water fountain and put it in the Hall of Fame, or should you leave it there and carry it?
No, instead you take Pablo Mastroeni's shirt from that photo shoot.
You think
wide open and flowing. Actually, Kobe Jones was almost barely even wearing a shirt in that. It was so much skin.
I feel like Kobe Jones's dreadlocks, but that's weird and gross too, right? That's almost like the fingernails. Like you can't ask Kobe to cut off his hair to give it to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Holden Crib just said in the chat he put Kobe's dreads. This is an interesting fun fact, and I love fun facts, especially when they're Chirundolo based.
Oh yeah, Chirundolo fun facts. Those are the best fun facts.
BD Smokey says in the chat there are two Chirundolo jerseys hanging in Pitcher's Sports Bar in Rancho Bernardo, California. How is that not my Mecca, and why have I not made a pilgrimage?
Two different Steve Trundle jerseys. Wow. By the way, I just had him on my show last week too. So
God,
Dolo
why
and
is this-
Wolf, by the way.
I swear to God, you flex on me so much, so often.
He's great. Dolo's a great
Oh, I'm
conversation.
sure. Yeah, what do you smell like?
No, it's quarantine, Jared. I didn't get to see him. He's in Germany.
I bet he
It's all
smells
through-
like. Does he smell like schnitzel or aftershave?
I think Steve. I think maybe Irish Spring.
Wait, is he in Germany? Or is he in America now?
No, he's in Germany. He's still in
I thought
Germany.
he's doing coaching out there, right?
Yeah, he's getting his pro license. I don't know
He
if he's
doesn't have that
actually
yet?
coaching. It takes a long time. There's a lot of work.
Really?
Like reports and stuff. Like,
I guess so. Klinsmann could even pass.
well, I don't think he went for it, which was his part of his.
I feel like Jermaine Jones got one in a week.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper!
No, he got a U.S. soccer.
So what you're saying is that the German one is far more hoops to jump through?
I'm saying the UEFA license is a higher level, I think, but even the U.S. soccer pro license is difficult. And I don't. Does he have a pro license or do he have like an A license? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. Pro
He
license.
has a license to be ill is what he got.
He's got, he's got a license to. He's got a license to kill. Let's hope not.
No,
What if-
ill.
No, I know. I
okay.
was going to turn Jermaine Jones into a James Bond like figure, but now you've ruined it. It's over.
Well, you ruined my joke.
Yeah, he couldn't be inconspicuous enough. Anyway.
Also, I had another submission from the chat room, and by the way, fantastic name in the chat room.
Oh, yeah, what's
Cletus Gaming says, not number one, obviously, but would love to see the sunglasses that Landon Donovan put on during the game that were thrown at him during the 2013 Gold Cup. The glasses that may have doomed him to not making the World Cup roster, because I bet you Klinsmann saw that and said, why aren't you taking this more seriously?
Oh, yeah, because Jurgen Klinsmann's known for taking things seriously. Like when he brought in the guy who tears up phone books in order to motivate the team. Yeah, that's the guy who should be worried about.
That's one dude short of Tiger King coming into to add to get you pumped.
The U.S. won that Gold Cup because of Landon Donovan, and he got cut from that World Cup team. I mean, he was big in that tournament. They beat Panama.
Funny is that was an odd display of personality for Landon Donovan during a game.
Okay, yeah, I think that's probably. I don't know. Is that right? You think he's not much of a personality guy?
I don't know, but there may be someone on line one that wants to talk to us about this.
No, that's just me.
I think you held up a one. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. No.
Yeah, we're working out the kinks here. I can see the lines. I know what Nikki Subin Sauce.
Sometimes you don't look.
It's
Yeah,
all
I
good.
know.
What about now? Again, I'm going back on my history with watching U.S. soccer, but the first goal I ever saw was Ronaldo's goal in Detroit, wearing that denim jersey. You could either go with the jersey or the cleats that he scored that free kick with.
I don't know that there's any. I guess if I'm going to do, man, it kind of opens me up to a different conversation. The denim jersey itself, iconic and worthy. But if you could only choose one player's denim jersey from that 94 run or even like around that 94 run, is Ronaldo the one you pick?
Well, who else? I mean, let's go through the
Lawless
characters.
is the breakout star of that World Cup.
Okay, I love Alexi. He's a friend of mine. I'm good with Alexi. I know he likes to stir things up. I'm not talking about that part of his personality, but Alexi broke out because of the way he looked. Right? I mean,
He played well.
He played well. No, he didn't. It's not that he didn't play
Okay,
well.
but listen, selling the sport is part of the sport.
No, this is absolutely. You sound like Alexi Lawless right now. You channeling Alexi Lawless?
I got you, baby.
Yeah, no, you're right. That selling the sport is part of the sport. And so Alexi, first of all, it did come to mind something to do with Alexi Lawless. Again, we have
If you ask the average sports fan to name a player from the '94 World Cup team, who can they name?
Alexi Lawless, but that doesn't necessarily mean he measures up to Hall of Fame level.
Well,
inclusion.
listen, if you're
He's
going
a
to be
Hall of
if you're
Famer, by
a
the way.
soccer geek, you say put Leonardo's elbow in the Hall of Fame. You know,
Well, so that was where I was going to go. Like Tab, something to do. Like Tab is the player that comes to mind for me. And again, he's not the breakout guy from that World Cup because you had Alexi, because he. I don't know. Tab
two submissions in the chat room for Marcelo Balboa, which is a good shout.
Okay, but what are we doing with Marcelo? We're doing the hair too, cutting off his hair.
No,
his
the question was what player's 94 jersey do you put in if you're going to put one to represent the team? Honestly, what you do is you go grab You grab Boris Milutinovich's sunglasses. That's what you get. Boris sunglasses back there. Those aviators.
Yeah, there you go. You definitely get okay. You have Boris aviators. Man, I'm trying to think of what else from.
I think you know what, Kobe Jones is a good shout for the '94 team. To be honest with you, another kind of breakout star who actually played well as well. Wait, hold on. Am I thinking right? '94.
Yeah,
No,
Kobe was in the 94 team.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember how much he played in that one. I'm starting to get my World Cups mixed up.
I don't think he played a ton. And then 98 and 2000, he was at 2002. We know that as well.
Well, for the soccer geek, I think Balboa is a good shout because that almost bicycle is so iconic, you know. And
sure. But okay,
But Ronaldo scored the first goal.
He did score the first goal.
There's something about Ronaldo.
What is that? Are you picking a fight with Eric Ronaldo on the show?
I'm just saying that he is polarizing to folks.
Danger zone!
Undisputed good player.
No, absolutely. The guy, he's Hall of Famer too.
I didn't even say my favorite player from the '94 team. My favorite player from the '94 team is John Harkes.
Okay, so what would you?
Captain, I believe, wasn't he captain for that World Cup? I think so.
Yeah, I have to go back and look. I think so. I mean, he wasn't on the '98 team, so he wasn't captain of that World Cup, was he?
No.
Let's go back to the original premise. Can I go back to the original premise again?
Do it.
We said Josh Wolf's long sleeve jersey from La Guerra Fria 2001 deserves a display at the Hall of Fame. We then went to Brandy Chastain's sports bra.
Yeah,
absolutely deserving. We're talking about objects. The reason I say Josh Wolf's jersey is because it was long sleeve, because it's identifiable.
No, I think of it. I know exactly what it looks like. I can think about how it's over his hands.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if there was a slit in it.
I don't think so. I don't think, was he doing that? Maybe he did do that.
That might have been before that was a thing.
Didn't it? Before people were cutting holes where their thumbs went? So
yeah, they started making clothes like that at a certain point, you know?
So let me ask you, Jared, and I know you were a defender, not a forward, and Josh Wolf had skills you could never dream to have. But if you were in that game, and I don't know what the temperatures, how low the temperatures were in high school, probably not very low. But even in that game, are you pulling gloves out, or are you going with the long sleeves over your hands the way that Josh Wolf did?
I have a hard time playing in long sleeves. It just feels wrong to me. I mean, maybe because I just grew up in Southern California, I never had to wear them. The few times I have worn them, I feel like I'm fidgeting because I can't stand for them to be all the way to here. I have to constantly pull them up so they sit here. That feels right to me.
Yeah,
like having them loosely around my wrist is really annoying to me.
No, I'm the same way. Like playing or not playing, I'm the same.
3/4 is always my move.
I'm always pulling my sleeves up. Absolutely, my kid does that too. My kid refuses to wear long sleeve shirts.
So if you want to expand this out of the U.S. national team, what are just some other basic American soccer, MLS, just club level, even European club level, American?
Okay, I see
bits of memorabilia assets that you would put into that same.
This is why I like Brady Chastain's sports bra, because it's not a jersey and it's not cleats. It's not something a little beyond the normal. Well, that's the kind of what we're going to put in. We're going to put in the Hall of Fame is somebody's. This is the boots that they wore when they scored the goal to win the World Cup and whatever. That's an obvious one. I'm looking for something a little more off the wall.
I have one that's MLS based. I think a very iconic one for American soccer fans that are of a certain age. The Clint Mathis "I Heart New York" shirt underneath the jersey.
Okay.
When he scores.
Here's one. The Red Bull can that Aleko Eskandarian.
That is a fantastic get.
Right there. There it is. We got a phone call, so let's go. I think this is Eddie in Brooklyn. Probably mad at what I said last week.
Oh, right? Man, get him in.
Eddie, are you pissed at me?
All right, hold up. No, I'm not. It's like, damn, how you gonna put me on blast like that, man? Like,
no.
It's
Look,
not saltiness. I was just making an observation.
No, but your observation comes from a place of bias. Just like my reaction to your observation comes from a place of bias. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I wasn't like, oh, he's salty because they lost that game. I mean, obviously, playing in 3 feet of snow or the hell it was is not ideal. I'm with you on that, Eddie.
You know what it was, though, no, honestly, because I don't think I ever really had a chance to talk to you guys about this, but the issue that I had with that match was the aftermath of it, where when Costa Rica put in their dispute and it was justified, everybody thought that they did it because they lost the game, when in reality they were disputing the game during the game itself. And the issue was Taylor Twellman during the broadcast was talking about, look, the Costa Ricans still want to play. They still want to play. When it looked like they were going to stop it somewhere around like the 60 or something minute, and that was like nowhere near the case. So it made it seem like, oh, we wanted to play, but then we lost, and then we disputed it when that was never the case. We never wanted to play that. And then I even got angrier when, like, 2 days later, they canceled the game in Russia because of snow and World Cup qualifiers. It's like, oh, well,
that.
I mean, they could do it.
Right.
So why couldn't we? So
no,
I mean, it was just
sure. Look, obviously politics are part of that. There's no doubt whatsoever that that's U.S. Soccer leaning on CONCACAF and saying, "Hey, we don't want to have to reschedule this. We have a real problem playing." I'm sure you have the sources on how Costa Rica felt during the game. Where do you think Taylor Twellman got that information then?
it was just the reaction. So if you look at the cut when Twellman said that, it was like the refs were having a conversation and the players were kind of like swarming the refs, and there were Costa Rican players there, and they both showed the same kind of emotion where it was like, no, don't stop us. We want to keep going. But on the sidelines, a bunch of the Costa Rican reporters, they even reported after the fact, like they wanted that game stopped. They never wanted that game played. But you can see through the broadcast how you can kind of see how they wanted, I guess, in that segment where they wanted to continue playing, but it was just never the case. And it was just like people after the fact talking about, oh, it's because you guys lost. And it's like, it's nowhere near that. And, of course, the other argument was,
but what you said is absolutely factually accurate, Eddie. It's factually accurate. But don't you feel that if Costa Rica had won, the 2-day later appeal doesn't happen?
No, I think the appeal, you might be valid in that point, but I think the appeal was coming. I think it was going to come because of the result, but it was still justified in doing so. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still something that you had to do because it was patently ridiculous to play that game. And the argument that, both teams had to play on it, so there was no real beneficiary. That's also not true because
the only thing patently ridiculous in that game was Jermaine Jones's snow throw.
No, that was dope. That was the only thing that was dope. I disagree. The fact that the game was played. Oh, and let's get this other thing. You guys were wearing white, and there was no orange ball, so it's like we're out there playing golf.
As a colorblind man, I feel for the first time ever, people understand what it's like for me when two teams wear similar colors that I can't differentiate between.
You know that kid's joke where you draw like two circles next to each other and then just like this little shape with the bump on the bottom, and you go, "What is that?" And the kid goes, "That's a polar bear in a snowstorm." That's what that is. It's pretty good though.
We're out there in red like the British, and it's just like, come on, man, it ain't fair.
Man, look, how long ago did that game happen? How long ago was that? That's 6 years ago now, basically.
I got an interesting story about that though. I was supposed to be at that game, right? But I have this absurd fear of flying. So my dad bought tickets. He bought the plane tickets. He bought the game tickets, and he wanted to surprise me. And I told him I wasn't going to go because I didn't want to get on the plane. So this is actually why I joined the Navy and not the Air Force, because I had a fear of flying. But that's besides the point. So I ended up not going to the game.
So you missed out on
my
the
dad
snow.
Went. Yeah, my dad went and he was there and he has photos. He was sitting next to Salvador's wife and he has pictures with her, like with the snow all over the field. Like he was there, but I didn't go because I refused to get on the plane.
But let me know though, Saborio's wife. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's 2020, man. I'm not trying to play that game.
Oh, my bad. Can we go back like it's that day?
I'm just it's 2020. Man. I'm not gonna try to objectify the woman, but she's
my bad.
She's pretty.
All right. But that's the most we're gonna get out of it. All right, Eddie, you have anything else you want to bring to the table? I understand that I put you on blast last week. Make sure you get everything in you want to get in.
Settle this debate for me. How do you cut your bread in half, diagonally or vertical?
Like in a sandwich, or just?
Man, it depends what the sandwich is. That's the honest truth.
I'm of the opinion that a grilled cheese sandwich should always be cut diagonally. That's my opinion. That's just the way it's supposed to be. If it's like a bologna sandwich or something like a ham sandwich, I cut it down the middle, two rectangles.
I'm with you. If it's got meat, it goes vertical. If it's got like peanut butter and jelly, grilled cheese, which I make for my kids, I'll never make a grilled cheese for myself.
No, that's
I do
you're
diagonal
person. No boxers, no briefs, no cheese. That's Jerry DuBois.
Actually, to be honest, truth is, I never cut a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You can't cut a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because you push the jelly out to the edges when you push down in the middle.
I don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I'm not,
Oh, yeah, we need Nikki's. I wish Nick had his own camera on when that happened.
Wait, hold on. Does that make me some kind of like what? What was that? What's the problem?
Super weird, dude.
No, it's not. What
Makes
do
you
mean super
un-American.
weird?
I think
Makes
it's
me
worse than me
un-American.
not liking cheese. To be honest with you,
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not even close.
Nick, I need an impartial ruling.
Oh crap. I gotta go with Jason on this one. Cheese.
Okay.
You knew not liking cheese is worse than not liking.
God dang, you're too close to Wisconsin.
I feel like we need what is that?
Closer than me.
Well, he does like that chili with
Oh,
the
yeah,
cheese and
you
the-
can't have an opinion. Why did I go to
Okay.
him?
All right, Jared. I wanted to try to come up with a pick your poison, but as far as I know, cheese is what other foods do you have a problem with?
I don't like eggs.
Like you won't eat eggs
Yeah, I
ever?
don't eat eggs. Like in a cake.
Well, yeah, but I mean like actual cooked eggs. You're not a fan?
No, don't give me that.
I don't do that often, but I will eat
Alfredo
them.
sauce. Hit.
Really? Well, that's kind of
Anything that's
cheesy
super
like, right?
creamy, I don't do.
Okay,
Cottage
That-
cheese, gross.
I can see why that one's gross. I like
I'll
it.
do
but
I
ice
love
cream.
cottage cheese.
It's very white middle America to like cottage cheese. By the way. It really
It's
is.
very my grandma to like cottage cheese.
There's that
Like
too.
she would
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
like cottage cheese and applesauce. What is that?
Are you
So
like
I'm guessing-
lactose intolerant or something, Jared?
No yogurt.
No, I'm
right?
just smart.
Yogurt's off the table.
No, I'll do yogurt, but I don't do the Greek yogurts. That weird tarty yogurt. I don't know what's up with that, dude. That's yogurt's supposed to be sweet like Yoplait.
The kind that feels like it's about to turn.
It should be like Kool-Aid yogurt.
Kool-Aid yogurt.
Yeah,
You
give me a Danimal. Anything with a foil cap, I'm into.
don't they have like Jolly Rancher yogurt or
Oh,
something
I'm
crazy?
sure that sounds like my jam.
There's probably something like that. You're a Go-Gurt guy, just like
No,
grab it
actually,
with a
I only
handful?
do. Literally, I only do like Yoplait, red raspberry. Throw some granola in there. I'm happy.
Okay, all right. So we basically split the middle on the question from Eddie, right? We're saying like no meat, diagonal with meat down the middle, right?
Yeah. Is Eddie still on the line for that debate? I don't know if he's still.
Yeah, he's still here.
Oh, okay.
He's still here.
That's the way I feel about it.
Got anything? I mean, you happy with that response,
I-
Eddie? You need to pick a side.
I mean, look, everybody's kind of stuck with their significant other in this whole quarantine situation, especially in New York. But it's just like every time I see my wife cut down a sandwich right down the middle, and it's not diagonal, I just look at her like she's a sociopath.
Eddie, I had the equivalent in the J. Rodius home. The equivalent for me is my wife squeezes a tube of toothpaste from the middle.
Oh yeah, that won't fly.
Oh,
I won't fly. I got
Yeah,
the
that's a
sandwich
no-no.
thing. It's not necessary. It doesn't drive me crazy because I get it, and most of the time I'm on board with it. But occasionally, I want a non-pressed. My wife's got a sandwich press, and everything in Puerto Rico, whenever they eat a sandwich, they're pressing the hell out of it. Like it's hot, and I'm like, I want a cold cut sandwich. Like I want just bread and lettuce and meat and cheese. And I know no cheese for Jerry, but I want that sandwich with some mayo. I don't need it pressed down and like basically grilled every single time I eat a sandwich. And so that's something that I'm working through because every time we do that, it's like,
Dude, I'll tell you what though. I was in Seattle one time, right next to the Key Arena. They had like a food court, and my kids got a peanut butter and jelly as a kids meal, and it was a hot peanut butter and jelly, and it was the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. It was warm. It was weird, and it was amazing.
there's occasionally you'll come across stuff like, oh, I didn't think those things went together. But then you taste it. It's
You
like,
got
oh yeah,
peanut butter on my chocolate. You got chocolate on my peanut butter.
yeah. I guess that's one of them. Salty and sweet. All right, Eddie, appreciate the phone call, man. We got some other people that want to jump in, so I'm gonna let you go. Appreciate it. There goes Eddie in Brooklyn, salty with me, but not in a mean way, just in a regular way. Ray in Milwaukee is on the line. What's
I
up,
just
Ray?
talked crap on cheese.
What's up, guys? The thing that I would remember about that game was the fact that ESPN didn't have a bilingual sideline reporter to talk to about the narratives coming from the Costa Rican side from the start. And that's always been a shame of mine. When I like watching Univision because when Mexico plays, they bring in a person from Costa Rica. There's been several times the executioner himself, the Honduran, Pablo, I forget his name.
Carlos
Carlos
Pavón.
Pavón.
but-
Carlos Pavón.
Yeah, Carlos Pavón. Yeah, Pavón, right? Carlos Pavón. They'll have him on there as an insider to the Honduras when they play against Mexico. I think lots of times people fail to realize that Univision is an American Spanish language network that tries to cater to all Hispanics living in the United States.
No, I think it's a good
when
shout.
they
You
showcase
know,
their game.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, call up a Costa Rican and find one who speaks English and can be part of a broadcast.
See,
Put 'em on.
in America, for a long time, and with Seb Salazar, they've gone away from this now. But for a long time, this is a messed up thing in American sports. Get an attractive woman and put her on the sideline. That's just what we did as American sports for a generation. It's about, be somewhere between Howard Cosell and now. We decided to do that, and now, obviously, now they still are doing it, but they've found a way to really find the right talent in that. But with Seb Salazar, I think they do a really good job of finding someone that has both, can play both sides with the Latino community.
Yeah, there's more people coming along who are going to be doing that bilingual thing.
Hercules Gomez got to start doing that as well. He was a sideline for a couple of years, I think, right?
I don't know if Herc did the sideline, but his bilingual abilities are definitely something ESPN utilizes on a regular basis.
But is that enough, though? To my man's point, you actually need to go get someone from that community and put him on. That's the next level.
Ray is saying, like, find somebody who can speak directly to what's going on culturally, or
he's saying that the reason why there was no sideline reporter at the Costa Rican game because Eddie wouldn't get on the plane.
Calling out Eddie for that. I love that. That's hilarious. Yeah, Eddie, this is all your fault, man.
Duh and or hello.
If only you had been there, they might have hooked you up with the sideline job, and then we would have all known Costa Rica doesn't want to play in this snow. Half of them never seen snow before. Probably more than that, to be honest with you.
In case you don't know, the U.S. is wearing white.
All right.
The other point I would call about is also about the CCL and certain things that maybe you would change or not change about it. And I would really like to get somebody's like Eddie's perspective and how he feels about the fairness or lack of fairness, right, when it comes to competitive balance when these Costa Rican teams are forced to play the second leg at away instead of at home.
Ray, you and I have had conversations. Was it this show Ray called up and like just ripped apart the CONCACAF Champions League for being unfair to clubs out of Honduras and Costa Rica, right, Ray?
Yes. But I would just like to emphasize, they were talking about the performances against Liga MX teams always makes the big things. But, since this format changed, there's been 3 straight years that a Central American team has knocked out an MLS team to advance to the second round of this tournament. And it was looking like it would actually get a semifinal team because of the poor result by the Canadian side, which I've expressed before, it has an unfair disadvantage. In my personal opinion, shouldn't have the advantage that they have.
We're getting 2 Canadian teams potentially.
Yeah, well, no.
Sorry, an easy one. That's probably the better way of thinking.
Sure.
And the point that I'm really trying to make here is I always find it very interesting when the American media feels like the United States has done wrong in any way, but yet when advantages clearly happen in favor of us, we're very silent on. And this is the fact. I am not Central American. I don't have any connection to any of these teams, but I want to see a just tournament and a tournament that is deemed fair and respectable for the region. And this is the thing that drives me nuts about the MLS fan, about this, because it truly is a North American Super League. And when you talk about this advantage that the Canada has with partnering with the United States, it's a huge advantage. There's no economic way that these countries could economically compete with the United States. And then
no one gets mad at the Premiership for having Welsh teams in it.
Yes, but they don't get a backdoor into the Champions League. They have to promote. Right? They have to finish in the top 4 of the Premier League. And it's not like the EPL teams get an extra team into this tournament.
Right. He's saying that
they're drawn against. And
the Welsh Cup doesn't get you into the Champions League, or the FA Cup can't even get you in the Champions League. You have to finish top 4 in the league, and the Canadian Championship end run around the rules.
Yeah, so I always wonder how that got put in place in the first place. I gotta feel like that was something that was given to Canada to start working with MLS or something like that. I don't know, understood how that happened or how that got into place. I mean, only because the U.S. because the Open Cup winner went. Is that the only reason the Canadian one goes as well?
Okay, look, it's because the CONCACAF Champions League is not the UEFA Champions League. There's also another competition in Europe that teams can go into, and in order to have representation from across the region, they just said, "Hey, we got to get a Canadian team in here somehow. If there's a championship, we'll shove them in." Like,
financially for CCL though, do you think financially for the CCL, is it better for them to get another MLS team or another Mexican team in?
Hold on, you're saying things like financial and CCL goes together at all. What money is there in that damn tournament?
I don't know, somehow it keeps running.
No, they run it. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they lose a ton of money on it, but I don't think it's like.
But if they're gonna run it either way, if FIFA's probably mandates that they have some kind of something like this feeding into the club world championships. So if you're gonna run it, you should run it with the best chance of getting eyeballs and dollars behind it. Does another MLS team in it or another Mexican team in it? Which one gives you more?
Do that? You want to do that? Okay, I don't know Costa Rica and Honduras and everything we're talking about with Ray here, but you want to do that? You just do Mexican clubs and MLS clubs. Oh, wait, that's called the League Cup, and they're doing it right now.
No. I'm saying that we're talking about the Canadian designation, that Canadian Cup designation, and the U.S. Open Cup designation. Costa Rican's Open Cup winner's not going, right?
No.
Okay. So for some reason, for these two countries, we've made that extra slot. Was that because we had to guarantee that there was more American and Canadian representation in the tournament?
Maybe just to pull in a nation that otherwise wouldn't pay attention, or to get more audience to try to build the tournament.
And that's my question. Yeah. Is having the 5th place Mexican team going to give you more money and more audience than the Canadian Open Cup winner?
Yeah, probably. But also, you are talking about an affluent country. I know it's only 30 million people or whatever live in Canada, but it's an affluent country, right? Those people have money to spend to go out and watch the games and pay for whatever.
Toronto's a rich city.
If you said, "Hey, let's get this isn't fair. Why don't we have a Nicaraguan team in the final stage?" I mean, you have a tournament to get into the final stages of the CONCACAF Champions League, but I'm saying we should have another Nicaraguan team, or I don't know, what's another El Salvadorian team should get another shot, or another Caribbean team. But the problem with that,
push it to Ray then. Ray, if we strip Canada from that, where does the extra slot come from?
I personally wouldn't switch Canada. I would have it 3 MLS teams from the United States, and the 4th place Canadian team makes it that 4th team. And I would also de-seed 2 of the teams, one from Mexico and one from the United States. And therefore, you would only have 3 seeded teams, and therefore you could only have 3 teams that can get the home field advantage for the second leg. But this is the narrative that I would always pose to other people, is that to the American public, is that could you imagine if it was Mexico who partnered up with Canada to maintain their economic advantage over MLS teams, right? And it was a highly corrupt Mexican official who was running CONCACAF at the time that allotted for this to happen. Could you imagine what type of Grant Wall articles we'd be writing about the travesty of the tournament and the travesty of the corruption within this region? But that's exactly what's happened today for this North American Super League.
Here's the honest truth, Ray. Here's the honest truth. Nobody cares. Honestly, no. The CCL and all this stuff. The reason why they get away with it, and the reason why it happens, is because nobody cares.
It's the crappy Champions League. I call it the dumbest Champions. It's the dumbest Champions League. Okay, and I know there is a Champions League in Asia, and I think there's a Champions League in Oceania. But for whatever reason, we have the dumbest Champions League. I guess we can be proud of that in some weird, ironic way. Just celebrate the fact that the CONCACAF Champions League is stupid. The refs are always terrible. The games are played in horrible conditions. It's not a CONCACAF Champions League game if you can't see the ambulance meant to take the players off the field if there's an accident behind the grandstand in the camera shot the entire game, right? It's not a Champions League game if the field doesn't also double as a cricket pitch. That's just where we are with this thing. And I understand what Ray's saying, but it's my contention, and I'm not necessarily on board with the League's Cup if you're jamming games in, if you're going to give lip service to the Champions League being more important because CONCACAF pulls some strings or because you don't want to piss everybody else off if you're Mexico and MLS. But what's the point? Seriously, what's the point? Do people care enough? And I've said forever, until somebody beats Mexico, it doesn't have any value. But even then, if it's only 2 countries that can win, what's the point? Why are we doing this? It's not like Europe where 8 different countries have teams good enough to win the Champions League in any given year, right?
I don't know, man. Here's my thing, man. If you want to talk about this, there are so many shows and podcasts and radio shows out there to have this conversation. This show, I'd rather be talking about like who's your U.S. national team player you want to take into the apocalypse with you. Like that's the kind of conversation I want to have. This conversation is so in the weeds, and there's people out there that'll do it better than me. I'm telling you right now. There's a show out there that will break this down.
Sure.
My take is just like,
What, Ray? Real quick before you go, what's your favorite kind of cheese? Just for Jared DuBois.
Oh my God.
Oh, Parmesan. It goes good on everything, doesn't it?
He didn't even pick out Wisconsin cheese.
No, he doesn't have to. He can pick. Thanks for the call, Ray. He can pick any cheese he wants.
Euro snob cheese. Euro snob.
And by the way, isn't that one of those things where like if you call it Parmesan, it actually has to come from Parma or something? Like it has to come.
Oh yeah, with their cheese, they're like their wine. If it doesn't come from an actual region, you're screwed.
Yeah. Okay. You want to get to this apocalypse thing. And I think we need to bring in Nikki Soup and Sausage for a very important question that Jared DuBois posed before the show. Okay?
Oh, yes. Okay, so in the quarantine, I've been having to ask myself some very soul-searching questions, okay? There are certain things that I've had to come to grips with myself being here at home for such a long period of time. One of which, and here's the thing, I don't want you to say your answers just yet. I want to do a 3, 2, 1, and then the chat gets there ready, and they hit the number at the same time, so we see what everyone's reaction is to this answer. Okay,
how you're gonna do it? Okay,
there's a huge delay.
That's okay. I can read it, and they'll hear it at the right time for them.
All right.
How many sittings is the correct amount of sittings to finish a pint of ice cream? Okay, so your boy has been no bowl. First of all, a pint of ice cream. Does anyone eat a pint of ice cream in a bowl? Like.
A pint. A pint is one of those small, like.
Oh my God, this guy's the wrong guy for this question. I can tell you already.
I don't eat ice cream very often. Occasionally I do, but I don't eat ice cream. And if I buy ice cream, I buy it a gallon because I'm in a family and you share it. Like that's a thing you do.
I like specific ice creams that I want to be just for me, so my freaking ravenous children don't take the ones I like.
So here's and you can't hate on my kid. You can hate on me, whatever. You think I'm.
Dang it, chat room! You ruined it already. Everyone's putting their numbers in. Come on, you had one job.
You didn't listen for the cue, chat room. What the hell is wrong with you? My kid does not like ice cream. Doesn't like it. Won't eat it. Won't touch it. Won't eat chocolate either. He is very specific about his sweets.
That's because you don't give him fast food.
No, he'll eat the hell out of some fast food, but he's a savory kid. Like he wants salty. If you give him meat, he will eat all of it. It doesn't matter how much there is. He's gonna eat all the meat.
Let's do the. I'm gonna do the counter right now, and at the same time, we all say the number out loud, which is the right number for how many sittings it should take you to get through a pint of ice cream. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3.
1.
I don't know.
You didn't even say anything, Jason. I hate you so much with so much of my soul. I hate you so much.
There's only one right answer.
Is this one thing. All I wanted to do in an hour-long radio show was do this one thing, and you. Oh my God, I hate you.
There's other things you want to do, other things I can participate in. I eat ice cream like once a year.
You can still have an opinion on how quickly you should eat a pint of ice cream. All right, so the chat on the 3, 2, 1 gave a 6, a 5, and a 1. Oh wait, 5, maybe 5. The same person put 5.
A 1, a 2, a 4, a 2, a 7.
A pint is 2 sittings. For a full-grown man, a pint is 2 sittings.
Now you're debating my manhood?
No, I'm saying, well, okay, you're having some self-control. I do appreciate that. I think that what I'm saying is like you can't say 5. Like what is that? Two bites of the ice cream and you're putting it back? Nah, screw you. Come on.
If I don't eat the entire pint of the ice cream, take my man card tomorrow.
Oh wow! So it's a challenge to you. It's like Fear Factor.
It's not even a challenge. It's a freaking snack. Give me a second pint. I'm ready to go.
I know. I feel terrible about myself. I don't wrong. I could do it, Nick. It's not an issue of can. It's an issue of whether or not I can respect myself afterwards. And I can't do it because I already struggle so much with control. Like the reason I've never done drugs in my life because I'm that person that would do them all the time if I liked it. Like it's hard for me to be in the middle on these types of things.
So you're careful. Okay, all right. I mean, again, they're for me. For me, if I was
you guys exercise and stuff, I don't do any of that.
Well, not right now, dude. There's no soccer. All the indoor soccer is closed, so like I am getting tubby.
It's a really I'm not. This is not about comparison or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's not bragging. I'm just curious. Like, do you have trouble motivating yourself to do anything active if it doesn't involve playing soccer, Jared?
Yes, it is literally the only thing that I do for exercise other than disc golf, and that's moving my arm and walking.
By the way, another behind the scenes here, okay, before the show, and I don't know what the purpose of this was.
I don't know what it was either.
I think maybe Nick is building a dossier on you that he's going to use later on to blackmail you. I have no idea what's happening. All right, so Nick says, "Hey, Jared, do you have a picture of you playing disc golf that I can use?"
I said a cool picture,
and I didn't. Oh yeah, I don't think those things go together.
Does not exist. That's an oxymoron. A cool picture of playing disc golf. So Jared sends over, puts in the Slack a picture of him like winding up on a tee shot. I'm like,
about to unleash.
Oh my god!
I wish there was video.
About to bang some chains.
You can't say something like that. Like
taking part in the chain bang?
Well, that
Danger zone.
That's the thing. It's literally a hashtag on Instagram. You go to chain bang. It's a bunch of disc golf.
Oh man.
All right.
What do you mean? That's a legit phrase.
No, I'm sure it is a legit phrase. I'm just shaking my head about a bunch of nerds playing disc golf using that and thinking it's hilarious to do. So that's what it is.
But to answer your question, man, I can get no exercise other than we're doing bike rides as a family. Like that's one thing.
That's lovely. It's very
this is going to be in the TMI file, but hey, you're listening to this show. You're used to it.
Be careful. Here it comes, guys. Get ready.
First time I've ridden my bike since summer, right? It's been cold and stuff like that. And then we did like 2 or 3 bike rides in 2 or 3 days or something like that. Okay. Woke up yesterday.
Do you have like one of the old school, like, what do they call it? Like,
I got like a murdered out beach cruiser.
Okay. All right. Murdered out.
Black rims, black frame. What do you want me
By the
to
way, so your murdered out beach cruiser, and also in your disc golf shot you sent Nikki Soup and Sausage, also murdered out, all black.
Was I all black? No, I didn't. Was I all black?
Yeah, I think it was all black.
Maybe I might have. No, that sweater's actually like a charcoal. But yeah, I see how it would come off that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a slight variation there. Charcoal.
Back to my point. So your boy rode his bike like 2 to 3 times in 2 to 3 days, and woke up with some significant pain on one side.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if it has to do with my bike seat and being on a bike seat for the first time in a while. Like, you guys ever get that kind of pain after riding a bike? Or is that just me? Or do I got problems maybe?
I wouldn't know. I haven't ridden a bike in about 20 years.
I think the last time I rode a bike was literally like a year ago because I saw a picture on Instagram or something of me and my wife when we went on a bike ride. I don't own a bike, right? I didn't own a bike because I was living in an apartment. Now I need to get a bike because I guess I have a house. It's a requirement. Like if you live in the suburbs and you have a house, you're supposed to have a bike. I think that's probably true, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's required, especially if you have kids and stuff like that. You know,
I have to murder it out. I just want to make sure I do that because then I'm still cool, Dad, and rather than
All right. So our Wilco 11 in the chat saying I need a better seat. Okay, I need to. Hold your left side numb after sitting on a ball too long. After sitting on a ball. Whoa. Oh, geez. I didn't realize that's what he meant. I thought it was going to be something else. I didn't do a first read before starting to read that.
She just started. Okay. All right.
I thought it was going to be like bike stuff.
Well, I think that's what he was saying, that you must have been crushing your nads while you were riding the bike.
I think I did, dude. It's a testament to my manhood.
You got to be careful. When things drop and they get a little looser, then you have to be careful.
You know what? Here's the first time in my life where underwear would have helped me.
Yeah, it can hold things together. This is why people wear them, Jared, because it keeps everything in a nice, confined package.
Is anyone ever going to want to pay for the show when I talk like this?
I don't know. By the way, I just want to throw this in there. And we have a couple other things we want to get to. I know your apocalypse thing. I want to talk about Pitbull for a second. Sometimes,
so we've been
doing. That's not bad. We've been doing this show for what? 5 months now, something like that.
The
It's
new
been
version, yeah.
like October, we've been back. Okay, we
Yeah,
came
yeah, yeah.
back. Boys are back, and I've had some people say, "Hey, why don't you?" And in fact, it was just the other day. Somebody on Twitter was something like said something to you, Jared, like, "Hey, why don't you bring back the best soccer show?" And you were like, "We did. We're here." Like 5 months, whatever. And some people don't know. And I think some people are like, well, why don't you just call it the best soccer show? And that's a good question. And it's a question that may have an answer one like sometime soon. I'm just putting that out there. I'm just saying, like, we called this what we called this for a reason. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? So if you're like, hey, why don't you just call it the best soccer show? Because that's what you guys are. Yeah, just have a little patience.
I would just call it Inapprops because that's what we are.
Yeah, okay.
Damn, dog. Inapprops.
All right.
All right, Pitbull.
You want to talk Pitbull? Okay. So
Dale.
Pitbull is very, very big on encouraging people to be smart during the COVID-19 pandemic, I guess. He's taking advantage. If there's no one more that has better skills taking opportunities. Like that guy's commercial agent must be cleaning up because Pitbull's in every ad, right? The guy knows how to take advantage of a moment.
Dude looks hygienic too.
He does look hygienic. He decided to drop some new music, I guess. So I'm going to play a little bit of this for you. Let's see how this comes across on the air. You can take a listen to this, Jared.
Everything in rags. Let me tell you what I believe. I believe we're going to face everything in rags.
I'm not gonna lie. Two
You
things.
like it, don't you? You like it.
I'm not gonna lie. Two things. One, it feels a bit derivative. Second, that kind of bangs.
It does bang. Look,
That's a better MLS anthem than the one they released.
that might be true. Now,
Wouldn't you rather have teams walking out to that?
Yeah, I think I would.
And don't you think the crowd could actually do it with them?
Let's compare it. I got Hans Zimmer here. Let's go. Oh wait, that's just I just clipped that one spot.
I believe that I am scared.
Hold on, I gotta see if I can get this whole thing for Hans Zimmer and the new MLS anthem. Here you go.
Wait for it. Get hype.
It's so weird. It is so weird.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of bangs too, but it doesn't bang like the other one.
No, but it doesn't. It bangs. It's like seriously. If you sent that to me and said, "Oh yeah, this is, I don't know, this is the new dubstep song." Who was the guy that made all the dubstep songs like 10 years ago? The guy who used to be like in a rock band or whatever, in a punk band, whatever his name was. He was like the main dubstep guy. Name is just escaping me at the moment.
listen to the Glitch Mob a lot, but that's not who you're talking about.
No. I'm just there's this one guy who's very famous for all the dubstep stuff. If you told me that that's his song, I would totally believe you. I would have no reason not to believe you because of the way that drops. Some of the weird discordant
that song bangs if you're gonna walk out at a night game and turn all the lights off except for flame and every fan has a glow stick.
Okay, well then it does bang. Then you're saying technically it bangs,
but I'm saying the Pitbull one that bangs for just a regular sunny day at noon.
I mean, just Pitbull. He hit.
Let me tell you what I believe.
All you need now is Deuce doing a verse over it.
Here's the thing about this Pitbull version. It takes the I believe chant, which is, by the way, this is why it's hilarious to soccer fans, right? Because we all know the I believe chant. We've all been living through a world where it was way too much, right? It was everywhere. It was, I think it started at like Navy lacrosse games, and now Sporting claims it as their thing. Sporting Kansas City, whatever. They were like tagging Pitbull. That's a great song. We love it. It got too much. It got adopted by the American Outlaws, became a U.S. men's national team thing. But it's the whole slow call and response, right? Like, I believe.
So what I love is for every soccer snob in America, it's a reason to be mad for someone appropriating your culture.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I
don't either. At first, my only problem with it is that people aren't going to know where it came from and think he created it. That's my only issue.
Who cares?
That's my only issue. I don't know. For some reason, because I want soccer to get that little bit of publicity.
But okay, so maybe Inter Miami picks it up because Pitbull's a Miami guy.
Or maybe in the video he at least wears like an Inter Miami kit. That'd be pretty hot.
He needs to do something like that.
Or he takes the. Here's what he needs to do because my man loves the tuxes, right?
He does.
You get the crane, the Miami crane, as a print on a tuxedo.
That's actually badass.
Right?
I think it's a heron, right? Isn't it a heron?
It's a freaking. I don't know. It's some stork. I don't know.
It's not a stork. Come on. Come on. You know the difference between a stork and a whatever.
I know the difference between a crane and a heron.
No, you don't. You know the difference between.
I'm saying I don't. I'm telling you I don't.
Right.
I live on the West Coast, dude. Like I see a seagull. I don't see storks or whatever these things are.
You'll watch the
Miami flamingos.
Capistrano every year in San Diego.
But honestly, if I'm Miami, I'm having ties with that as a print.
Well, he should have
gift shop.
You mean ties with the Miami should have already had a partnership with Pitbull. I don't know if that is something that we're working on, debuting him at the first home game.
How hot would it have been if Miami, John Witherspoon, rest in peace, if he had been around still? You take him down to Miami. He's got a jacket with that parent on the inside, and he goes, "You got to coordinate," and then kick off. And he opens it up.
You got to coordinate.
Amazing.
Miss John Witherspoon.
The belts with the little herons on it, and then you get special herons on the inside. And,
everywhere he had mushroom, you put a heron.
Absolutely. Why is that a thing every MLS team has done?
Dude, we have so many good ideas. Why isn't anyone? People just take our ideas. That's what happens.
I mean, we're going to work on we're going to make our own ideas happen. That's what we have to do. We have to take ownership of our idea. We really do need some sort of agent, manager, somebody to take our ideas, pitch them, bring us money. That's what I was
Rose City Till I Die is saying, you guys not doing calls tonight? We've had two, man. Maybe you just came in, but number 717-727-BEST. We're on for a few more minutes. If you want to get in, come on in, and we'll find out with the quarantine going on. Are you really Rose City Till You Die?
Yeah.
That was my conversation last week, right? If they had a game right now in Portland, the Timbers are playing. Are you going to be around 18,000 people?
Ooh, you're testing people's loyalty?
Are you really till you die?
Yeah, you're saying, hey, if you really love your club that much, you'd show up and expose yourself to. I'm free. By the way, I'm freaked out. Like I admit, I'm not normally this, type of person who cares that much. Like I'm not going to avoid public spaces for any other reason. But at this point, just because. I don't know, because it's not hype. It's just like knowing.
Hey, man, I'll tell you this weekend, I parked on a cul-de-sac and walked around my disc golf park that was chained up and I couldn't get in. I got in and played still.
I know, but you were social distancing, right?
I'm one dude, so it's easy for us to take apart.
Like I had to go to the drugstore to pick something up yesterday, and I put on gloves and a mask. And I was
that guy?
Well, but I don't know if I should be or shouldn't be. But first of all, I know that it helped. My wife was.
I love that I just said that you're that guy, and I'm the one dead in like a month.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm going to the Carniceria, touching all the produce.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to do it.
By the way, Carnicerias, if you're struggling to get food, go to your local Carniceria.
I know. You've told me this already. Your Latino Mercado is wherever that is. Find it. They'll probably have some stuff. All right, Greg got in. Greg from Portland, Rose City Till I Die is on the line.
Hey, yeah, I grew up in Portland, but out in Missoula now, and we just got some snow today. So if Jay Rodius wants to rub it in down in LA, feel free. But really just wanted to call in for some support on the disc golf front, since I haven't heard anybody call in on that. It's hard out here with the coronavirus going on. I've been staying away from the course, but it's tough. There was a course out in Portland.
Those chains,
some neighbors went out and bang those chains. That's right. Real phrase. Let's go. Bang them. That's the sound you want to hear.
I've seen stories on, obviously baseball can't happen right now. Obviously soccer's not happening around the world. I've seen stories about how athletes can't train, Olympic athletes can't train, and it's really hard on them. I have yet to see the in-depth story behind the scenes on the disc golf community, how they've been.
I could tell you right now where to go to find that if you'd like.
No.
Go to Joe Mess Pro. They did a video on it this week. Or Paige Pierce, the top women-rated player. They both did stuff recently about when they found out, and they had cameras rolling when they found out that their tour, the tournaments were canceled.
How do you keep your wrist in shape? Well,
here's the tough thing. all these other athletes in a lot of sports are gonna be fine. These guys live in vans and drive from tournament to tournament. You laugh, but this is how they make their living, and now they can't do it. They don't even have homes to go back
It's tough
to.
out there. It's tough out there.
I mean, hopefully these guys aren't like completely off the grid, and they knew what they were. They knew they weren't driving into a pandemic outbreak somewhere because they were in their van. Jeez.
Dude, I want one of those vans though. They got cool vans. I told you my wife
they
and I
get
we
the
just
wrap
want to
on
get a
them.
van and travel, right?
This whole thing, I don't put that on hold for a second, Jared. This whole thing, like every time you tell me another detail about disc golf, I'm like, no, that's a stereotype. That's something some writer in a room on a sitcom wrote that. That's not real, Jared. It can't be real.
My man right here will tell you, if you go to a disc golf course, true or false, you're gonna hear Grateful Dead.
Greg,
Out
that
in
was
my
for you.
area, definitely.
Okay. That's what I'm saying, man. You're gonna smell a bowl, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, of course.
That's the way it is.
Yeah,
It's a weekly hangout, man. It's such a tight knit community, and every place has got their own vibe going on, and I love it, man.
JD and the Rod,
So you're-
America's best frisbee show.
I was just gonna say.
I'm not letting us become a
I just
frisbee
said,
show. Not happening, America.
Jay Rodius is out here
Frisbee
all
show.
alone. I got to call in for some support here, man. We out here.
That's right. Hey, Greg, tell them about how you don't like cheese either.
I would like this to be a home renovation, the America's Best Home Renovation Show before I'm going to let it become a disc golf show.
Oh God, property boring.
I got the requisite beard, so I'm kind of working with the right tools here.
So, Greg, talk to me. Talk to me real quick though. Grew up in Portland, Missoula. What's the soccer scene like in Missoula?
Honestly, pretty lacking. The university just got a women's team like 5 years ago. We got some pickup. I made some friends with indoor. We're out here. It's just it's pretty quiet, so it's a little tough. But we do have a regional supporters group in Montana for the Timbers. So we got meetups. We go to the bars.
Wow,
to watch those
Timbers
games. So it's
representing.
pretty good. We got a little community. It's nice.
That's great. Do they have can you get Timbers hunting gear or Timbers fishing gear? Like, can you wear your
That's a good pivot for them.
fishing cap? Can you do that? Is
Well,
that
the one thing about the Timbers is we got a huge patch culture. So the Army does patches all the time, different editions,
Right.
special editions, the regional supporters group. We do them out here in Montana too. So if you want to represent, you stick a patch on your fishing vest, you out there. That's how it goes.
okay? All right, not bad.
One
not
last
bad.
question, Greg. Easier to find a Dubs partner for disc golf or indoor soccer team in Missoula?
Dubs, man, I actually tried to run a doubles the other day, and
That's what I'm talking about.
it went all right. It's a little tough, but if anybody's out here in Missoula, hit me up.
All right, everybody, I guess we're the bulletin board for partners for disc golf now. I guess that's what we're doing. Thanks for the call, Greg. I appreciate it, man. Enjoy Missoula. Probably easier to stay away from people out in Montana than it is where you and I are, Jared.
Dude, what's Montana's coronavirus line right now? It's just straight, right?
Yeah, they're like, we had 2 cases. 2. That's
yeah,
it.
I saw this article about these people in Quebec that went up to some real weird remote area, and they kicked them out because these remote areas don't have the medical facilities to deal with this, and all these people are trying to escape from the city to go to these places, and
people who
they're
have
kicking them out.
ski lodges and stuff like that and summer homes, they're all driving to them, and the communities are like, nah, get the hell out of here. We're not letting you in. But,
City folk.
Speaking of reaction to the coronavirus, and we're gonna wrap here in a second because it's just we're hitting the end of this night. Jared, did you see what happened out in your hood, out in your area with the guy, the train driver who tried to ram the ship that was supposed to be one of those hospital ships is in LA in the port, and a guy was driving a train, I guess whatever, the train tracks were right there to the shipyards, and he hit the accelerator to as fast as he could go to try to ram the ship because
Wait, so you're telling me this is a very Florida thing, by the way. That it was a train versus cruise ship story.
It wasn't it's not a cruise ship, it's a naval vessel, I believe, but I think his thought I think this guy is way off
Listen, dude, if you're a train conductor or train folk, that's like carny folk, right? Train folk, aren't they kind of like carny folk?
No, I wouldn't put that on them. No,
isn't that a lifestyle in itself?
No, but we're talking about okay, hold
just
on.
nomads from remote place to remote place.
Let me read this. A train engineer intentionally drove a speeding locomotive off a track at the Port of Los Angeles because he was suspicious about the presence of a Navy hospital ship docked there amid the coronavirus crisis. Federal prosecutor said Wednesday the locomotive crashed through a series of barriers and fences before coming to a rest more than 250 yards. Dude didn't even get close. Like,
Dude, that guy
he
heard.
wandered.
That dude heard like he played Alex Jones backwards and got
Yeah.
told that was a thing.
Yeah. He said, "You only get one. You only get this chance once. The whole world
You
is
only
watching."
get this chance.
I had to. People don't know what's going on here. Now they will. They said he was suspicious of the ship, believed it had an alternate purpose related to COVID-19 or a government takeover.
Oh my god, these are the people.
These are the people driving your train.
These are the people with all the guns.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
It's
my
possible.
Lord.
I mean, I don't know if my dude Eduardo Moreno had guns, but he decided to drive a train out of ship because
Eduardo Moreno from Brooklyn. Eddie from Brooklyn?
No, from LA.
Oh, okay. As he went off the edge, this is for Denver.
All right. Any business that we need to get to? All right. So this is what we need to do. We need to pick a game to do a watch along. Our plan is to do a watch along tomorrow. If you guys enjoyed the 2002 USA Mexico broadcast that we did, we pulled in Taylor Rockwell. We'll probably try to swing a guest, maybe two. It's a long enough stretch of time that we can maybe get a couple people on board. We want to do this tomorrow night. So that's Thursday, April 2nd. Jared, do we have an idea on game, or are we still kind of putting this out to the people? We've got a bunch of Slack suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the idea of the 2007 Gold Cup game. I like that one.
Okay. That's the win over Mexico. It's another USA Mexico game.
Yeah, and I also like the 2009 Confederation Cup Brazil game.
Okay. That one I'm a big fan of that game. Obviously, they beat Spain, maybe less entertaining. So the USA Brazil game more entertaining. Ultimately a loss, but still fun. That game has my favorite goal of all time. American goal of all time.
I agreed, and that's maybe one. And I'm also okay with any of the women's World Cup games recently.
Well, yeah. So maybe something from last year. I mean, that's
2015 even is okay. Yeah.
The final against Japan. So what we can probably do is narrow this down to let's say 3.
Let's do 3.
Narrow it down to 3 choices. Put up a poll. We'll put it on Twitter. We'll ask people in the Slack. We'll find a way to do a Slack poll as well. We'll combine all the results. Don't vote twice. I guess. Maybe.
I think Slack votes, because they're our Patreon members, count double.
Oh, that's a nice little extra bonus. All right, you can you can stuff the ballot box on this poll. So Slack people will vote. We'll put it out on Twitter as well. We'll pick a game. We'll try to figure out the guest that maybe we can jump on with us to do it. Jared, are we aiming for the same time? A 9 p.m., 6 p.m. East West Coast time start?
Yeah, I'm good for that.
All right, so there it is. A little bit of business for you. We mentioned the Patreon a couple times. I'll reiterate what we said last week. Obviously, this is a weird time to be, trying to work and pay bills and take care of families and all of that stuff. We love every single person who has stepped up to help us with the Patreon. Obviously, if you can continue to do it, we love to have you. If you can't, we understand. Nobody's getting kicked out of any communities because of not being able to be a Patreon subscriber right at the moment. But again, we do love everybody who's joined up. If you do want those perks, the bonus show every week, Slack access, we're going to be sending out stickers. We got to get that together, stuff like that. Make sure you check us out at patreon.com/JD and the Rod.
And also, do one more thing to put out there. It'll be on Twitch tomorrow night. So if you want to watch that, go ahead and download it on your smart TV, the app. You can go right into the app, watch live with us. You don't have to do it on a computer. You don't have to do it on a phone. You can do it right in the middle of your living room if you want, and watch with us.
Yeah,
and also on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll have it on YouTube as well. So you'll have a chance to pull it up on a couple of different places to just watch along with us as we talk about the game, but we also talk some other stuff. It's a lot like a regular show dumped on top of a game, where we dip in every now and then to talk about what's happening on the field in the broadcast that we pull up. So, all right. So we'll put that together in the poll. We're on Instagram at JD and the Rod Show. Make sure you tack on show on that handle.
Shout out to Sasa Supi.
Okay.
Nikki Soup and Sausage.
Oh, sausage. No, where that one was going. All right. Nikki Soup and Sausage doing mad work over there for us as always. All right. Anything else, Mr. DuBois?
I think that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show.
All right. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow night live on Twitch, live on YouTube. See you then. Bye.
Only the best. Oh, how did I spend that much money? And or hello.
Danger zone! Damn, dog, that's in a post. Damn, dog, that's in a post.
Get to the chopper!
Michael freaking Orozco Pascal.
And or hello.
You got the coordinate. Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes.
Who asked those questions? Eddie, what have you done for me lately?
Jay Rodius.